is me, Sailor Moon, and it's me, Rubeus here, and today we're going to talk about worship in Sailor Moon. Now I know you're going to hear that or watch this film and say, what do you mean worship in Sailor Moon? Well, in Sailor Moon there are two worships that tend to be, shown. First is Christendom, and the other one would be the way of the gods. Now, at first you might think, what worship was there? Well, there was. There was a holy man, I don't know from what Christendom, holy worship house, who happened to have one of the rainbow hearse, meaning that in his, that Zoe's light was after. This was also the same one that the brainwashed Kingling and Endymion would go after too. His name was never given, but Molly met up with him when she was still sad about Nephlite dying, and told her that as long as he kept him in his heart, he would never go away, and that she said she didn't have anyone, but he said it's not true. He saw her, she had friends, and he said it was time like this where you could have them help her. Now, keep in mind that Deke did shift a lot of words out. Because at the end, when I did heal him in the Deke offshoot, he was known to say that fighting is a bad thing and we must do everything to get it out of our lives. Well, that was shifted around from what was truly said. He goes, do you believe in God? So do I. Go to your fellow man or your fellow woman and tell him about him. Now, the next time that Christendom would come up many times when I would have these daydreams of when me and Tuxedo Mask, me and Darian were getting wedlocked. The next time it would come up is when Tiger's Eye would go after some holy woman to go looking for her dream, because he thought that Pegasus might be in there. Now, keep in mind that that was the only two times that Christendom was offshoot in the Sailor Moon. Oh, there were probably a lot more times than that, but those are two of the big ones. And yes, Cloverway did shift out what was being said and what was being done. Well, yeah. You want to go on Rubeus? The next one that tends to come up a lot is the way of the gods, or the way of God, which tends to be, where a worship that Ray tends to do, and her worship house tends to be shown a lot. The sailor fighters tend to have it as one of their homesteads many times, well, at least headsteads, I should say. And Ethan Ray's grandfather tends to run it. Now, there are true way of God or way of gods, whatever you call it, holy worship houses all over Dawnland and probably in some other lands too, I would think. But but those seem to be the only two worships that are shown in Sailor Moon, when there are probably many more than that. And I know there's going to be folks saying, well, why not? There's going to be some folks out there to wonder why other worships weren't offshoot into it or shown. Well, I'm sure there probably were other worships in Sailor Moon's world, both in a Deke and a Cloverway, as well as a Toei and the Viz and Onso. But those are the two main ones that were shown a lot. And I know some folks out there might get a little, wonder why that is, and thinking something about, there might be some folks out there that, the worshipful and the non-worshipful getting what they get from it. Now, you might say, why did Deke and Cloverway have to shift out a lot of that stuff? Well, for not the same grounds, but I guess for folks out there that didn't think it, for someone out there that would get mad and say, well, you're going to talk about these worships, but you're not talking about my worship. Or someone out there who's unworshipable getting all irked and mad and angry and wretched over worship being talked about. That's probably why they had to shift it out. But yeah, it doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's it's there, you know. But just to tell you that there is worship in Sailor Moon. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. So I just wanted to, bring that up. I know it's something we didn't talk about before, and if we did, forgive us. Oh, Rubeus, I'm sure they're going to be forgiving of it. And I'm sure there are some folks who watched Sailor Moon before, or haven't watched it before, whatever the grounds might be, who might not have recalled any of that. They may have not seen all the Christendom stuff in it, or all the way of God stuff in it. And I know someone out there's going to say, well, wasn't Nayo Takiguchi, if I'm saying her name right, I don't know how to say the name right, so forgive me, wasn't she a Buddhist or whatever you was about worship? Yeah, she was. Even though some folks say that it's not a worship, even though it's handled, even though it is seen as a worship, a lot of folks who are that say that it's not a worship, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But yes, but I'm sure she was truly open minded about other warships, and when she was doing Sailor Moon, picked the two warships at the time that were the two warships at the time that probably a lot of folks did happen to belong to. The Way of the Gods, or God, which have been an old worship in Dawnland for years, and the younger worship. Well, Christendom is an old worship nowadays, but at the time it was still seen as a new worship to any to any rural that didn't hear about it yet. And at the time, Christendom had only been in Dawnland since the eight between 100 YL. So I guess she picked the two worships that most folks would belong to these days and put them in her books. That may have been what Toei thought too when they were doing it. Well, you're right, Sailor Moon. But it looks like about time for us to end this film. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the last film I made yesterday over here. I, Sailor Moon, I, Rubeus, and we'll see you later. Bye.